Welcome to part 2 of the life and unsolved murder of Chalino Sanchez. So Chalino would often and openly say that he didn't have a good singing voice, and a lot of critics slammed him for this, but he would often say, quote, "No canto, ladro," or "I don't sing, I bark," end quote. On January 25th, 1992, Chalino would make national headlines following an incident at one of his concerts at Los Arcos nightclub in Coachella, California. A man by the name of Eduardo Gallegos, under the influence, jumped on stage and began firing at Chalino. Chalino quickly pulled a 10mm pistol from his waistband and began firing and chasing Gallegos. Chalino was shot twice in the chest and was in critical condition and was rushed to the Desert Hospital in Palm Springs, where he underwent surgery. Gallegos was wrestled to the ground and shot in the mouth with his own gun by a bystander. Although Chalino survived, he lived his life like a marked man for death. His widow has constantly quoted that he would get a lot of death threats, that if he performed in Sinaloa, Mexico, he would get killed. But even after all the death threats, Chalino still accepted a $20,000 offer to perform in his hometown of Sinaloa. Chalino's final performance would be on May 15, 1992 in Culiacan, Sinaloa, Mexico, at the Salon Bugambilias. In the middle of his performance, he was handed a note believed to be a death threat by the cartel. Despite the death threat, Chalino still continued to perform and finish the show. So after midnight, Chalino drove away from the club with two of his brothers, a cousin, and a few young ladies. Chalino was reportedly stopped by a group of armed men, including policemen, on a false traffic stop. So the policemen told him that he needed to go with them, and Chalino agreed to this, and honestly, I think that he already knew that he was going to die, and he didn't want his brothers to suffer the same fate. So, on May 16, 1992, at 6 in the morning, two farmers found Chalino's body by an irrigation canal near Highway 15, near the neighborhood of Los Laureles, Culiacan. He was blindfolded and his wrists had rope marks. He had been shot in the back of the head twice, and no motive was found, and no suspects were ever arrested. You can go see his last performance on YouTube where he was handed the death threat note. There's clearly a sign of distress in his face, but he still continued the show in true Chalino style. And honestly, there's a lot of rumors still going around about his murder, and the most accurate one is that the cartel killed him, and another one is that he got too close to a woman that was married to like a high, powerful man, and he had him killed. There's even another rumor that I heard that supposedly the man who killed him apologized before he shot him. I don't know if this is real, I've just heard from word of mouth. And honestly, Chalino is still loved even today because he provided a voice to the true stories of Mexico and the struggles of living in Mexico.